It's top tier Jasmine Allure, and if you want to have an alluring time, you better watch Countdown.
What is up, Wrestle Geeks, heels, and baby faces? It is Big Mike here with another edition of the Countdown City WrestleCast. And as always, I have my partner in crime, Tommy.
You.
And, go ahead, sorry.
I have this to defend myself whenever you show video of my arch nemesis from now on.
Yeah, we only have a handful of liners here, and it is one of the best. So.
We could just get more. We don't need to keep bringing her up.
So from what I understand, we could get more, but we can only hold so many in our little thing we got.
So we could get rid of that one.
Anyways, guys, as usual, it has become more common recently. JC is busy with games with the little ones. So more than likely, as he has in past week, he will be joining us pretty soon and catching up in the middle of where we are. So once he pops up, we'll just pretend like our conversation is in a really wild place. And knowing him, he'll just jump right in. And
okay, here's the thing, though. When do we ever have to pretend the conversation was in a really wild place?
That's fair. No, you're right. Good point. I did not think about that.
We're like neck deep into some absolute ridiculousness, and he pops in. We're like, how the hell?
Yeah, and then usually he has to get us back to on to the show.
Yeah. On to the show. Sorry.
What's up, Angel, Jason? I don't know. What do you feel about this, Tommy?
No. Just no. Again, I have to reiterate, we were in Dallas, not even near San Antonio. It was VIP, not Mission Pro. She saw me for 2 seconds. She hadn't finished walking down the stairs yet and started yelling at me. So no, she's not even a cool little. She's a jerk.
Wow, I don't think this is going to make you feel any better then.
No, that didn't, because that's remotely untrue.
All right. Well, only Angel and Jason in the chat so far, so some other people need to pick it up and get some cooler wrestlers in here.
There's a lot of Cali fans who watch our show, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh, he's here. Oh, thank God. One person who understands me. Okay, thank God.
Bernsey can help us. I'm a really bad host, so I guess I've got to say, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at ccg_WrestleCast, which we're not on a lot anymore, to be honest with you. We're on Instagram at Countdown City WrestleCast. Yeah. We're on Blue Sky. That doesn't get used a lot. And, of course, most of you are finding us on YouTube at Countdown City Geeks. I don't know. Our social media guy sucks. That's all I'm going to say. So he is not.
Yeah,
he is the worst.
If only someone else who probably has access would step up and do more stuff. You could probably get more stuff done, but,
Yeah, well, tell it to the social media guy.
Yeah, seriously. Anyway.
All right.
Right then, damn it.
Yeah, so today we are going to talk a little bit of updates with local shows, including United 210 is having a show, not at the Yard, but they're having a show, and you may be shocked who is helping put it together. And then also the unfortunate news. Despite every single time you watch a WWE show, pay-per-view, whatever, they're like, guess what? Biggest gain in the history of ever. We're making more money than the ancient city of gold. And yet, last Friday, what did they do? They released a whole bunch of people. Makes total sense.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, Angel, I from what I'm understanding, just social media people not on top of their games around here.
Yeah.
I don't know. And hello, Edward Herrera.
Hey, Edward, how you doing, man? That's 16 names I'm looking at. 16 people got released. And some of these actually make me mad. I can't even lie.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then eventually we will finish with the preview of WWE Backlash, which is already this Saturday, which I don't know how much I'm going to get to see because we're celebrating Mother's Day Saturday night. So
And Saturday's my birthday, so I know I'm gonna miss most of it.
That is true.
Yeah,
So a crazy night of drinking you won't remember, so you won't be able to watch back.
I don't even drink.
I know. That's why it's funny.
It'll be a crazy night of me watching anime that I won't remember.
That's fair. I don't know why we're using these podcast voice, but we should stop because it's dumb.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, let's start with local news because that's at least a little bit better.
Yeah.
So United 210 is working on still getting the yard, able to go back to the yard and actually have shows.
The lady from the news is doing another story.
The lady on the news is back out there. I don't know if you follow United and Stash and everyone on social media, but if you do, the lady who did the original story with KSAT, and after they got shut down at the last show, she actually came back out to the yard and was talking with them and felt bad, felt like, her putting a spotlight on it may have been the thing that led to it. But again, we were like, no, this was going on for 3 years. No one had a problem. Stash and his family said they had literally gone up and down the people knocking on doors. Like, if you've been to the last few shows, fans were like watching from their yards, like 3 houses over, because it's one of those communities where everyone's got the chain link fence. So
So people just sit on their decks. I said, like, I turned around. I've looked. Most people just sitting on their decks in their backyard, just like with their beard, just like, oh, there they go again.
Yeah, you're having mixed birthday greetings in there.
I noticed that. Yeah. Well, at least happy early birthday is consistent. I appreciate that. I think Angel, you're a jerk.
She is.
Yeah.
At least to you often. But yeah, so in a, I don't know if ironic is the right word to use here, in a twist.
No, ironic is because this is definitely how irony works, like, for sure.
Recently fired GM Handsome Javi has, and look, I'll admit this right here on the show. For those of you who know, when he got fired, I was in all the social media posts like, heck yeah, he deserves to be fired. He was the worst. And for what it's worth, if you went to the shows, he completely was not unbiased. That being said, in this current situation, he has stepped up and helped to organize a show that will take place at Hybrid on Friday the 16th. Wow. That's true.
I have a few. They're just why do you think I'm wearing the bandana?
But yeah, Friday, May 16th, they're going to be at Hybrid. So obviously not the yard, obviously not quite as big. And, it's a toasty gym as we start getting into the warmer months, but it's a show and Hybrid stepped up to help out. And Handsome Javi did. So it's literally called Handsome Javi Presents. From what I've seen so far, and we'll go more in depth, obviously, next week with the preview. But the tag match that was supposed to happen, Sons of the Gulf Coast, a.k.a. Sons of the Gulf of Mexico, are taking on Dead Man's Hand, Eric Walker and Jay Young. That match is supposed to be going on. Just announced Casey against Kiefer Bartok.
Yeah, Kiefer Bartok.
Right?
Yeah.
Who I was apparently offended people by not knowing him or not being as familiar with him.
It's fair because he really hasn't been to San Antonio in a long
time.
Yeah,
he literally said in his post, like, he hasn't wrestled in San Antonio in 5 years. And I was like, oh, I've only been back for about 2.5.
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
I hate saying this because I know the direction's going to get. I know who he is, but and everything. But yeah, he hasn't been in San Antonio in a while. Usually I'm like in the Austin area, so I've run into him a few times.
Yeah,
he's good though. Yeah, so
no, and our buddy from Tall Cat Knopf said the same thing. But apparently he also had a good run in heavy metal for a while. So
yeah, that's right. You know what? I don't know why I keep forgetting about
heavy metal for a while. So that being said, I may have actually seen him once because I went to one heavy metal show where not Leva Bates. Who is Speedballs?
Oh, Veda Scott.
Sorry, Veda Scott and Effie were there.
That's others. Right.
Dude, I did go to one show.
Heavy metal was a fever dream. I keep forgetting everything that they brought in there. And
I did go to one show. So he may have been on that. It's just I wasn't as familiar, and then I never saw them again. So, Angel, we're not sure.
We're not going that far.
At the moment, he's doing good things in the name of United. It could be just a ploy to get his job back, but
he's a guy. who did a good thing. But then again, you can say that about Doctor Doom in some Marvel comics, but that doesn't make Doctor Doom a good guy.
Right. Still remember that.
I remember that now too, dude. Heavy Metal was a fever dream. I forgot half the stuff that happened, including the fact that I met Raven there. So.
Oh, I do remember you talking about that.
Actually, no. That's a lie. I never forgot that, and I never ever will.
Yeah, I know. Say you talk about that all the time.
That was a total. Yeah, I do.
But yeah, so United's going to have a show at Hybrid on Friday. Contact their social media if you want to get tickets. It's obviously not a big a venue as the Yard, so we'll kind of see how seating goes.
Yeah.
And then Saturday is Hybrid's actual show, the benefit show for Don Juan called Megalodon. And all the proceeds go to him. And as many of you know, we've talked about the last couple of weeks, was diagnosed with stomach cancer, is fighting that.
Yeah.
And so obviously the medical expenses are piling up. So this show coming up on the 16th, we'll talk about more in depth next week, is a benefit show. Everything goes to him. So get tickets. If you want to donate, there's still GoFundMe's up for him, or a GoFundMe, not multiple, obviously, but a GoFundMe up for him. And if you want to sponsor wrestlers, this would be a great show to sponsor wrestlers.
Yep.
Because it's all going to him. So
yep.
So we'll go more in depth with that next week. But just wanted to fill y'all in on the local scene, and then still on the horizon over the
whoa, hey, yo.
So now, when Casey shows up later in the show, which he often does, I'm busting this comment back out just to show him.
Or whether he comes to the show or not, this clip kind of gets sent to him. You never know.
Either way,
falls off the back of a truck. Yeah, just saying,
crazy.
I'd be the worst like mafia guy ever.
It depends.
Fair.
I'd be like, they're like, you got to take him out. Like, do we have to? What if we have a stern talking with him? He'll understand.
And if we found out he was a wrestling fan, they were like, oh wait, we can't do it now. It's just
Yeah, Angel, I don't know.
Everybody, that comment set everybody off. Damn.
And again, Talkhead, why are you talking about the referee, the number one referee in San Antonio?
Yeah,
the sheriff, right? I mean, that's that's Jackson.
I mean, who else?
Sorry, I almost said the wrong medical center name, street name. So
it is funny how easily that we can get those confused. Like so easy you can do that.
I mean, again, we're talking about Vance Jackson. He's the sheriff I know. Also, there was someone who shot the sheriff, but he didn't shoot the deputy. So if you're old, you get that one.
Still one of my favorite jokes ever, and I hate and I laugh at it every time.
So Angel, you probably don't get that. So
no, that was like 20 years before she was born, I think, at least.
So now if you've been talking and drinking already, because now you're just in the chat yelling.
Yeah.
All right, we get it. You're in love with Kiefer. Go tell him you love him.
I imagine him actually screaming at his phone right now. If he's like either he's holding his phone or looking at the screen, he's screaming at us right now.
Probably.
And I'm laughing because I know exactly what he's talking about. I just refuse to correct anyone because this is funnier.
He's the real sheriff.
Yeah. So honestly, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm just not going to correct anybody because your meltdown right now is making me laugh a little bit. So
There you go. We all need a good laugh.
And y'all laugh at me all the time, so I don't care.
And as I was saying, on the horizon, RCW in July. At the Von Erich Ranch, of course. And those tickets, like front row's already gone. Like,
front row's gone.
Check your tickets for those ASAP because that is. I have heavy metal memories with Kiefer. That's cool.
Yeah.
Don't mean you got to lie about things. I know and love Evanescence. Yes, we know.
Okay, I get. Okay, she sent me a picture of her of her vinyl, so I can see that I give her respect for the Evanescence thing. I give her respect for that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I was like, wait, were you alive when it actually came out, though? I don't know about that.
Oh, that's actually a good point. she might have been born. She might have been born that year.
Yeah.
No, wait. How old is she again?
It was
that was like 2003.
Yeah, so probably not.
Oh no, there's no way she was born when that album came out. There's no way. Oh my God, dude, that was 2003.
Jason Knopf. Jason, I also love.
That's funny.
I don't know if you do it on purpose or not, because technically Knopf is with a W, but I also love that you spell it with a U every time. What's up? What's up, Sean? So yeah, next week.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Gonna kill me.
Next week we will go more in depth with the local shows and talk about we'll talk down the full cards because Megalodon, the hybrid show, pretty much has a full card set, and the United one is set up. But a lot of the matches were the ones that were supposed to take place at on site. Yeah, at the last one.
Yeah.
I was -4, -5. Yeah, about. So we're having a good time, which is cool, but then it sucks because the other part of our news is the unfun part, as we were talking about. We have to talk about the releases that they had on Friday. So Tommy's got the lists. You want to start naming them, and then we can talk about how dumb some of the releases were.
All right. Let's just go to the whole list, and then we'll talk about how stupid this is. Okay, we got Braun Strowman. Okay, and maybe I can't say it because now I got to stop right there and just – okay, never mind. Let me keep going. Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, and they just destroyed the NXT roster. Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, Eddie Thorpe, Jakara Jackson, Riley Osborne, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, Wolfgang, basically Gallus, Oro Mensa, Javier Bernal, and Danny Palmer.
Yeah. It's a whole lot.
But they got the nerve to have Elijah show up at NXT on yesterday. They had the balls that took. The utter balls that took to have Elijah show up on Tuesday at NXT. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. The guy they fired, I think they fired him twice too.
Yeah. Angel Chemical X was a group that's now just Tatum Paxley apparently by herself. No more Tony Storm and Shayna TikToks. I think you mean Shayna and someone else.
I think yeah.
Because Tony Storm's in AEW and Shayna Baszler is WWE.
Yeah, there are a few people who had Shayna.
No, you mean Dakota Kai? And Shayna and Mia Yim.
Mia Yim they would just have Shayna in their background. Because
but did you ever see like when you would get the other person's TikTok, like you see her? Yeah, I used to love that.
I used to love it because it felt like Shayna was in a hostage situation.
Yeah.
Where like she just like didn't have a choice. It was like Stockholm syndrome, except she still wasn't going along with it, but she was going along with it.
Yeah, in all fairness, Angel, they have never cared about women's tag teams, despite creating the belts.
Yeah, the belts.
Despite back when Bayley and Sasha at the time were trying to do something with them. They've never really cared about.
They only made them because other companies were making theirs, and everyone was asking why WWE didn't have any. So
yeah. This is like I know Cora was one similar to Dakota that got injured a lot, but it did seem like those were the two of NXT that were going to lead into being those always connected to each other,
and especially since Cora had just been involved in a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
like recently, like as early as like the week before.
She was attacking people, including Bayley, before WrestleMania. She was doing stuff with Roxanne off and on again.
And Braun Strowman was working overtime to get Jacob and Bronson Reed over.
Yeah.
So that release made literally no sense whatsoever. Gallus, I don't like that at all, but I kind of get it, I guess.
But I mean, literally last year, y'all used them to get The Rock in wrestling shape for WrestleMania. You're telling me, even if they're not full-time on the show, they're not valuable to have at NXT? Like, it just, unless they like want to go out and, get back on the indies and still use their time. I don't know, but still. And also, when you go back to Elijah, not only the gall, but he comes on with his new non-WWE name, which just cracks me up because it's like...
Okay, this is why this relationship with TNA is kind of confusing me. So what are Nick Nemeth and Mustafa Ali going to do? Well, Mustafa's name is more or less the same, but what are they going to do? They show up? Are they going to show up? Should they show up?
I don't know. I mean, again, we talk about WWE making money hand over fist and everything. Like you watch a pay-per-view and literally every second is either an advertisement, a promo package, and then eventually you get a match.
Or why do you still only have 5 matches on your 3-hour pay-per-view?
Because you need all the time for the advertisements.
I've been look, I've been at 3-hour wrestling shows where you get at least 12.
Like between ACW and United 210, like I know they go a little longer than 3 hours, but you can get 10 matches easy.
ACW used to be ridiculous, the amount of matches they could fit it in that time frame.
Yes. Now we would go kind of late itself, but
that would too. But then again, that was also because at some point during the night we stopped caring about time because something else got set on fire.
You know what, guys? I don't know if y'all have any desire or care to do this, but if you do watch Backlash, time the amount of actual wrestling match from the time the lockup starts to the pin, submission, whatever, and then compare it to the overall runtime. I would love to see how much time is actually wrestling. Yo, my assignment is talking about you, microwave. I don't know what that means.
Wow. I feel she's calling you out, but I don't know how.
Probably.
You know what I want to do? Now I want to go back to cagematch.net and just read all the comments. Read all the times of the matches, total them together, and then see how long pay-per-view was.
I guess you could also do that.
But no, that plan works too. But okay.
How do I kick people out of the chat? No, I'm sorry.
We can just block her. I'm playing.
Are we
okay.
then?
But Jakara Jackson, another example of them not giving a damn about a tag team.
I have some jokes. I'm just not allowed. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to make them.
Text them to me. I'll say them for you.
Okay.
Jakara, that makes me so mad for her because they were just really getting that team going clearly.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, and it's like she just saw you. I don't know. And Eddie Thorpe was just in the NXT title picture a month ago or so.
Well, NXT title picture has been crap for a while.
Fair, but still.
I know you're upset that they had to bring in what's
Elijah.
His name? Well, no, not Elijah. Before that, oh shoot, he used to team with Josh Alexander.
Ethan Page.
Ethan Page. Jesus,
yeah.
His name just went out of my head. And you complained about how they kept bringing in people, and it was just and I don't know. Their women's division was rocking pretty good, although they cut some of them too.
Sean, if that had been the case, there would have been a riot in Texas.
Yeah,
at least San Antonio. No, Texas, because she had made her way around the whole state by that point. Maddie Sinclair is like if they ever are that stupid.
Okay, first of all, it's Ren Sinclair. He's combining both the versions of her name.
Well, Freudian slip because I saw that and my brain just kept going.
No, that's fair.
Ren Sinclair, thank you. That just be so stupid. But then it gets sort of these other picks, so I can't even say this is just so stupid.
And Dakota Kai. Remember when Triple H took over, and it was like he was bringing back all those people that Vince had fired, right? Like she got the big, eventually became Damage Control, bring back with her and Io for Bayley.
Yeah.
At SummerSlam, huge thing. And yeah, she had some injuries, but she was pretty consistent. People wanted her to beat. The people wanted her to win the Women's Intercontinental title.
Yeah, they did
in that match.
Which, by the way, we'll get to that because I now have thoughts and feelings.
Okay.
But
oh God,
Angel, Angel,
just stop. No, don't keep going. I'm going to block you from this chat. But yeah,
anyway,
Dakota Kai, Shotzi wasn't technically released, but her contract's not being renewed.
Again, which is just some bull.
You didn't miss much snuff. We just spent 5 minutes talking about how bad Kiefer was, and a lot of people had stuff to say about it, so it's cool. Yeah, so Sean, like we were just saying, Shotzi didn't get technically released. Her contract just wasn't getting renewed. So essentially.
And how do you not keep Shotzi Blackheart on your roster? I don't get it.
Although she tweeted, like, can't wait to wrestle more than 3 minutes in my next match.
I did see that, and I did laugh.
And then someone else tweeted the next company that gives her her tank and something else are going to hit the jackpot. Like, it just...
Okay, I usually don't do this because I get it. They just got released or they're in everything, but just go to AEW, Shotzi. I'm sure Tony Khan will buy you an actual tank. He don't. He'll probably say he'll probably call her up like, Shotzi, Tony Khan, let's cut to the chase. I have a check right here. How much is the actual tank you want? No, not the toy one. The actual tank. I will get you a driver. Damn it, no.
Noff, I don't know if there's stuff you want to put out publicly, but now we're just going to help you make it more public. I mean,
damn it, Noff.
I mean, there's things you can get to help you with that. I've heard. So
this show's the worst.
He put it out there. I'm just saying. Okay?
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, just again, I feel like okay. This is a whole nother line we can go down that's connects back to this, but like WWE is becoming such a monopoly. It's making money hands over fist.
Yeah.
It just bought AAA. It's got this, it's got that. It's like there's places for these people. Oh, by the way, supposedly Alberto Del Rio is under contract with
when you said bought AAA, that actually did remind me. I was like,
yeah.
Wait, I meant to bring that up too. We buy AAA and release. Okay. Because WWE has this great track record of what they do with their Latino talent, right?
Right.
Great track record.
And
Eddie Guerrero, Alberto Del Rio. Oh, Stephanie Vaquer. Yeah, she's there. She's happy for the moment.
Well, okay. Here's another thing that I read though. I've seen the post that AAA apparently has, or WWE has like 6 wrestlers officially signed under the AAA or something. Besides Alberto, one of them is apparently someone that Stephanie Vaquer has a restraining order against from her time in AAA. Look up that story.
I actually did.
Yes, Logan, that's exactly what happened. And I'm going to stop there.
I'm laughing at Logan's comment. That's hilarious.
Because we know how much Logan loves the treats and he supports everything they do.
Yeah. And because
Sean, please don't. Why do you always mention the worst things?
Yeah.
Yeah, Angel, that's exactly what I was just talking about. So, look, I've said on this show for a long time, I have WWE PTSD. I've been a fan for too long. They've done too many things that are just not cool. And the Triple H thing brought it back a little bit for a while, but it's slowly getting back to not. Not even talking about like not a fan of the John Cena story, not a fan of The Rock messing things up all the time.
Show Logan's comment. Noff is complaining he can't see it. This is about Alberto Del Rio, everybody. For those who don't know, this is the. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, I feel like WWE is getting to that point for me again where it's already like, all right, like I'm over it. But
I'm more of the place of I feel like they were doing good for a while and building up all this goodwill. And I'm not saying releases don't happen because that happens in every company. So it's actually not even the point. It's who they released and the time frame of it.
Yeah, but again, No, go ahead. Sorry.
Because with Braun Strowman, that one I think may actually bug me the most. Because he just got through with these hot feuds with Jacob Fatu and Bronson Reed. He was putting these guys over. He was doing the job he was given. He was doing a good thing, putting these guys over, getting everybody hyped for them. And they release him. What? For what reason? What could you possibly have? Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. If he did something, that's one thing. But it feels like he just got caught up in this release. And some of these names, okay, I will actually, play the devil's advocate and be like, okay, maybe. But him, Dakota Kai, who else? Cora.
Hold on, real quick. Tommy, check this one out. In reference to Alberto being in WCW.
That's funny.
Oh.
Knopf, yeah, I agree. I also hope someone books Cora Jade here. And I feel like, and I feel like there are so many companies chomping at the bit, waiting for this 90 or 30 days to run out.
Wait, Knopf, are you talking like a cameo or something, or?
Yeah, but that's just how I feel about that.
No, I get you. And again, for me, and look, I didn't go to business school. I don't work in corporate America. And I know when I say what I'm going to say, people will be like, well, that's how it works. I don't give a crap. If you're gonna turn one hand over and every show brag about how much money you're making, I'm not going to like you when you release people. You can tell me they weren't doing what they're supposed to. They weren't meeting their, like NXT people weren't progressing as much as you want. When you make hands over fists so much money that you have to brag, do you realize that like the Alamo Dome 97 Rumble is not even like in their top 10 of like biggest shows and all this anymore, just because they keep like they're making money hand over fist ridiculously. So I don't want to hear about you releasing talent. Like honestly, I don't. Like you're trying to buy everything, you're trying to take everything, but like, oh, but these 15 people, meh.
It's also a case of like,
what is going on in the chat?
I don't know what they're doing right now. It's also a case of like the like, okay, they're making all this money, then where's it going? If you can't afford to, I mean,
well, I did take a few classes on business and I have a feeling executive pockets.
True, but okay. You're releasing this talent. What is buying Triple A gonna do? Like what is the end game there? What is the point of that? What is that really gonna bring to the table?
Well, because they've been so successful in making the next Rey Mysterio. Remember Sin Cara? No, I'm sorry. I meant, do you remember Kalisto? I'm sorry. I meant, do you remember Grand Metalik? Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, did you mean Dragon Lee? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Did you mean, that long line of people that were supposed to replace Rey?
Real talk. Can I be honest with you? I completely forgot Dragon Lee was there sometimes. I'm not even trying to be mean.
WWE has forgotten Dragon Lee is there sometimes. And all the time.
And he just lost the speed title, which I also didn't even know he had.
And again, now don't get me started on this. Because not only the subtle's the wrong word, overtly racist tones to this whole storyline. How come you cannot get Chad Gable over as Chad Gable?
Here's the problem. They were getting him over as Chad Gable. Where all this came from, I have no idea. He was getting over.
Like, it is literally a mini angle, and you had Shorty G. You chose the other guy over him in American Alpha. It's Chad Gable.
Who would have made way more sense to be Kurt Angle's son, by the way. But moving on.
The whole point.
Yeah. I heard that too, Logan. I heard that, and I just immediately said, "Dear God in heaven, no, do not let them do that."
Maybe they're dyslexic and they think it's WCW and they think they have to defeat it again. I don't.
That's the funniest joke you've ever told, and I in no notes. perfect in every way. And in fact, I applaud it.
All right, guys. Well, that was a great show.
Yeah, we're done. We're out of here. So, but okay, and it's like you're if you're so focused on building the next Rey Mysterio, which by the way, kind of impossible because he was lightning in a bottle. But I understand the attempt. You just signed Penta and Rey Fenix. If there is and no disrespect to Penta, but if there is a guy who is the next Rey Mysterio, it's Rey Fenix. Right. All day freaking long, all the live long day, Rey Fenix is the next Rey Mysterio. Penta is another luchador, just not the same way Rey Mysterio or his brother are. And not the same.
Angel, what do you know about Miss Dyslexia? Bam, callback.
Oh man, her birthday was just the other day.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, just the other day. I wished her happy birthday. She's still doing good. I think she's a nurse now.
Yeah, I think she.
Yeah. She's doing good. I'm happy for her. All her pictures, she looks doing really well. But it's like Logan just said it. Put that up because that is exactly what I was about to get to. Legitimately, like AAA, like you have a specific style with luchador wrestlers. They have a specific style that they do. They're gonna make them change it. They're not gonna let them mesh the styles with everybody else. No, they're gonna make them change it and just be WWE style. Rey Mysterio, I'm sorry for those who I'm about to disappoint, is actually a toned down version of what he used to do. And I don't mean just recently because he's older. I mean, I get that. I meant like when he debuted. That was a toned down Rey Mysterio.
Also, youngsters, like him losing a mask in a match isn't a big deal. He wrestled for several years without his mask. Now, granted, he's older now. But you can find the pictures. It's not that crazy.
But honestly, that's kind of my favorite in joke in wrestling. Everyone's like, "Oh, Rey Mysterio might lose his mask." I mean, and I just say like all the time, like he did in '99.
Dude had devil horns before Stephanie Vecker. You know what I'm saying?
That's 100% true. And I love how that probably went over a lot of people's heads right now, and they have to go look it up now.
Sean, you're about to be the next person I ban from this chat. You and Angel are getting the kick scene.
You're neck and neck for sure. But it's just that's just my main issue with all this. It's like I get where everyone I get that you want to expand your roster for whatever reason, like you don't have enough people already, like you don't need a fourth show to get everybody else on. And after you close NXT UK, excuse me, I just remembered that was a thing.
Mm.
But what are you trying to do? Make NXT Mexico? Which
yes,
okay, yeah, okay,
yeah, yes, no, stop, yes,
yeah, okay.
All right, Logan, you gotta point back on.
Yeah, you did get a point back. That's good. That's good.
And then there were 4 bodies there.
Yo,
and I was like, how did that happen?
Man, look.
But anyways, guys. Oh, JC's here. So enough of our story time. Let's get back to wrestling.
Well, no, just to finish the story out, there were 4 bodies. There was a 5th, but then it got washed out to sea.
Oh, okay.
At least that's what we were told. At least
crazy.
That's what I was told. Wink.
And that's what really happened to Yolanda Saldivar. Yeah.
I told y'all.
Is that the right story? Okay.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, it's okay with me.
I made it, guys. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. God dang, Angel. Why are you coming for people's heads?
Wow.
Literally.
So where are we on the show right now? Are we in the news part? We start talking about
we're in the news. We're talking about the releases, and we're just kind of crapping on WWE a bit. So
because they released all these people, but don't worry, guys. They bought AAA. That's gonna go great.
So
they start releasing those people too.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, when they talk about the Grand Lucha tradition of AAA also does a lot of crazy, over the top, like not lucha stuff. Mm-hmm. They're not always like this. Everyone's a masked wrestler, and it's like the way it used to be. Like they had Vampiro doing a lot of weird stuff in there, and and Del Rio again, but
they at least had like their is how to be creative, have their own vision, right? They're not stuck on what WWE wants them to do. So but
at least they're still CMLL.
Yeah.
Before we move on from the news,
supposedly.
Before we move on in the news, I did want to give you guys a bit of news coming out of Japan that you might be interested in.
Okay.
One, Mayu Iwatani, who was in Stardom, has left recently, and now she's in Marigold.
I heard about this, yeah.
But also, you may have heard about this too. Tetsuya Naito and Bushi are now free agents.
Yeah.
They're out of New Japan.
That reminds me, there's something else out of New Japan. and I don't know if we've talked about this on the show, but I've been meaning to ask Mike. Jeff Cobb apparently retired from wrestling?
Well, he made a post saying that everyone, as far as I know, he's going to be in WWE soon. But he put up like a social media post about like time to go surf the waves. It was a great 16 years.
So do we think he's gonna WWE but have a different name? Is that what we're thinking?
Well, it's
Somebody,
WWE. So.
somebody brought up him bringing back his gimmick from Lucha Underground, and I could not agree more that that should be a thing.
What if he debuts in AAA WWE like that? As what was it,
Mantenza. Then I will give this AAA thing a shot if they're that smart. If they're that smart, I will give this a shot. By the way, I say that with no confidence whatsoever.
Also, this brings if he doesn't do that,
Jason. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. I like that one.
This does bring the possibility of bringing Rock Island back, of Bronson Reed and Jeff Cobb together as a tag team, which put the gold on them and just let them run for 3 years or so, because ain't no one defeating them too.
Logically, who could beat them?
Right, exactly.
Except for maybe the War Raiders. That's the only team that can logically have.
No, not at this point. You got to let those two run wild. It's going to take Roman and Cody. Oh, no, because then that's no fun when they do that. Yeah, just run over everybody.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be like Roman and Cody, but only if they do another Avengers Endgame thing where everyone comes to help them at the end.
Or it'd have to be face Solo and face Braun Breaker or something.
Like Jacob Fatu just comes and helps.
Oh, there you go. I meant Fatu, right? Fatu and Breaker.
Yeah.
Speaking of gimmicks coming back, do you guys remember Slice Soda?
Yes, I heard about this.
Wait, what?
It's heard about this.
I hadn't heard that.
They have it in HEB, and it's like a prebiotic and probiotic soda, which is great for a Crohn's person like me. So,
wow.
I guess
I get to enjoy my Sprite knockoff again that I used to drink all the time as a kid.
Well, I guess I'll have to get ready to start packing that in curbside. When
I'm about to go check that out.
It's not where the usual sodas are. It's like at our HEB, the one at 1604. You walk in, it's where the produce area is, and there's all these healthy sodas there.
You know what? Our started doing that too, putting that stuff at the okay. Logan, we get it.
You throw question marks behind things, and you get to take it for 8 months without having one champion. So
trying to question all reality with that shit. Yeah,
exactly.
So, have we talked about United 210 yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked. So if you're not up to date, they are still working on getting back to the yard. The news reporter who did the original story is back out there, and she's going to do an update, and do an investigation into what's going on with the city part of it. They are doing a show May 16th at Hybrid, which is Handsome Javi Presents. So apparently Javi has stepped up to organize this and get it at Hybrid. So obviously not the yard, but some of the matches from the last show on site are going to be going on. And then Casey's got a title match against Kiefer Bartok, who apparently wrestled here a few years ago. And I don't know. And Tommy and Knopf were kind of upset. Knopf was really more upset.
Okay.
But yeah, so they're having a show.
What I said was I know Kiefer was because I forgot he was a heavy metal a ton, and that's fine if you guys don't know him because after heavy metal closed down, he's more in the Austin area
Knopf was crashing out a little bit because he put Kiefer better than Casey, and then we all made fun of him. So
so we're gonna send that up to Casey later.
Yeah,
so you deserve that. Got it. So.
Yeah.
So pretty much from here, it's on to the Backlash preview.
Okay. Well, let's get right into it. I'm glad I made it because this is going to be an interesting show.
It's something.
It's something. Dare I say, it's always one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. And just because it's always, Mania is great, and then where do they follow up from it? And they always follow up with something crazy. You get people that debut new and everything like that. So,
well, more recently, it used to be they just had WrestleMania matches and called it WrestleMania Backlash. But
yeah, so.
I don't know why I like that name so much, but I really, really hated that name. So freaking.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, thankfully they don't do that anymore. But
thank God.
5 matches on the card. No more of these extravaganzas. Hey, congratulations to this guy. His team has qualified for All-Stars in their league.
Hey!
Congratulations.
Yeah. Say thank you.
Yes, Jason. Backlash is Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's real quick. It's a quick turnaround. All right. You go, Cigar? Come on. Go ahead. Show Henry and go. Yeah. So
Sorry.
they won both their games tonight. Audie's team went 1-1, lost the first. They're just 6-0 games sucked, but they came back and beat a really good team on a walk-off. So it was kind of nice. So
Nice.
yeah. Backlash 5 matches or away from the whole crazy 2-night WrestleMania stuff. Some seemingly back to normal, if you will.
Boo.
And we're gonna start with Pat McAfee and Gunther, the only one that doesn't have any gold on the line here. Now, Mike, we know your love for Pat McAfee. I don't share your same sentiment about it. I actually enjoy what he does as a self-made guy.
I used to.
Yeah, but
It's just gone too far at this point.
he's him. I think he's always been himself. He knows that. I couldn't stand him when he played in the NFL because he played for the Colts, and I'm a Titans fan, and it pissed me off. But I just enjoy the fact that he's kind of built what he has from the ground up, and
I think I don't hate him because he's loud and boisterous, and if I hate him for that, then I am the biggest hypocrite on this show.
anytime you get Michael Cole to laugh and break on TV, it's hilarious.
You have admitted to being biased all the time on this show. Why start caring about that now?
Okay, because in some ways I kind of wish I was Pat McAfee. But anyway, so
Look.
Don't we all wish we'd be a successful white guy?
Wow.
I mean, some days, bro.
It would make things easier.
Some days,
but-
bro.
It would make life easier, right?
But for me, I enjoyed him when he first got there, and he definitely brought a breath of fresh air to commentary. He definitely livened up Michael Cole and allowed Michael Cole, with especially with Vince leaving, to be himself. But it's one of those things. It's literally die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. It's become a parody of himself to me most of the time. It's over the top. It's too much.
Right. To answer your question, Jason, yes, there is a women's match. We'll get to that.
Yeah. There's one women's match.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of really.
Unless they add another one on SmackDown, who knows?
Yeah, that's very sad. Oh my God, I just realized that.
But starting with this one, as much as I love Pat McAfee, I think Gunther's going to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want Lesnar Cena. Just complete destruction.
Especially, I thought maybe it might go even a bit. Pat gets some offense or a little more offense than usual. But the way that promo went down on Monday was
that's the determining factor.
That kind of unlocked something in Gunther that he'd been missing. And I think they've done a good job of building this promos into storylines, and I hope they keep that going with this. So I think Gunther's going to win this one. Maybe he'll respect McAfee for fighting for Cole, because this is basically where it started. Yeah. Gunther's character had a problem, went all Eastern Europe communist bloc on him, had a problem with his free whatever he was saying about him, and McAfee came to his defense. So, but I think Gunther's going to win this. Yeah, I know, Cold War shit. Tommy, where are you going with this?
He's not German, by the way.
He's not. He's Austrian, but
yeah.
Yeah, but you never know who was working for who during the Cold War. Anyway, no, I'm going Gunther as well. I feel like Pat might put up a bit of a fight, but no, at the end of the day, Gunther's gonna get his hand raised.
He always finds a way to steal the show. He really does. So.
Well, yeah, for sure.
When was the last time he had a match, though? It's been a little while.
Who, McAfee?
A year.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's been.
Was it WrestleMania?
I think when he was a surprise return at WrestleMania and wrestled The Miz. Was that his last?
I don't know, but I don't remember who he beat, because then I just remember he literally gets beat up by Vince McMahon afterwards.
Yeah, it was the Miz, but he was in the Rumble last year, but it was his last full match.
Single. Okay, yeah.
Was against the Miz, yeah.
He has always impressed when he's been in there. So
true.
Yes, and he's just
going back to NXT. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, you're going to go through and make it a clean sweep? Yeah. All right. United States Championship, a fatal four-way. Jacob Fatu defending against LA Knight.
Yeah.
Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Tommy, what do you got?
I gotta go Fatu. I think they're gonna keep this on him for a little bit longer. Maybe long enough for him and Solo to finally. Not that they need the title to fight over, because I feel like that's about to happen soon enough, because they are. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I would not be surprised if Fatu wins the Rumble next year. I really wouldn't be.
I wouldn't.
I would. I'm not saying that I can see it. I know for sure that that's where they're going. But it's just the way that they push him. I would not be shocked at all if next year he wins the Rumble. Angel, yes.
Bruh.
Did you watch WrestleMania?
Look, I know a lot happened on 2 nights of WrestleMania. One more forgettable than the other, but yeah, he did win at WrestleMania.
Yes, he won at Mania. He beat LA Knight.
Yeah.
But
Solo's not in it, but that's the kind of the I know you're picking Fatu, Tommy, but Mike, do you think Solo gets involved in this somehow?
That's actually fair point.
So I think here's the thing, like obviously a 4-way match is the ideal way to take a belt off Fatu without making him look weak because someone else can pin someone else. But it's not even a full month since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like now, granted, they've taken titles off people quicker, but like Fatu seems like someone they want to build momentum. So even though it's just the U.S. title, which they haven't valued as much all the time, I feel like a solid run would make sense. So I do feel like Solo could get involved, but I feel like Fatu will overcome it regardless. I just can't see them taking the belt off unless they push, because where else is there for Fatu to go? But like you said, the main event, honestly, at this point.
Yeah.
Let him dominate the mid card right now.
There's a time. Yeah, exactly. There's like time to get there. So.
Yeah, I think first of all, I think David Priest and Drew are just going to start beating the crap out of each other and take themselves out of the match, and Fatu's going to get over on LA Knight. That's kind of
just more LA Knight. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's where I'm going with this one. Now the women's match. As of now, there's only one. I'm sure there may potentially be another one added on Friday. We'll see. But this is the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria is defending against Becky Lynch. Mike, what do you got?
I say Lyra needs to keep it. Maybe Bayley shows up to attack Becky. I don't know how long her injury is supposed to keep her out. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't see much stock in putting the title on Becky for a while. Like, yeah, I assume eventually it's going to Bayley and Becky again when she returns. So I say keep it on Lyra.
I agree. I mean, the IC title, at least on the men's, has always been like the hardest working person in the locker room. That's kind of, that's where I feel like Lyra is right now on the women's side of things.
Yeah, she's really good.
Good way to build her up. So I think her as well. Tommy, what about you?
I wish I could be as optimistic as the two of you. I really do, but I do not have that optimism right now. So I'm actually going Becky.
Okay.
And and I told this to Mike earlier about the IC title, and because just before you got on, JC, because it refers back to Dakota Kai for me. Because
is this where the body getting dragged out? Is this where this kind of went up to?
Well, thereabouts. One of the bodies.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was a few bodies. So I can't remember which one we were talking about. This one happened. Anyway, we were talking about like how the crowd reaction was everyone wanted her to win the Intercontinental Championship, and like the groundswell there. How hard must it have been to just simply put Dakota Kai in a program with Lyra and keep that going strong? That must have been so difficult with the hours of programming they have to just and just.
I know.
I'm just like. And then and Becky, I'm not sorry to say this, in her own way, is kind of becoming the new Charlotte Flair, and I don't like that.
Oh, you're gonna call her Becky Hogan next, so.
I mean, the only potential way I kind of see this is if this is obviously the heel turn. Does she join the same faction that her husband's in? I mean, they get some female muscle in there too, with Braun Breaker.
I don't know if it's going to go that far, but I just feel like this is just like Becky's back. She has to have a belt because that's how they feel about people who they have as their top draws. They have to have a belt, which I mean, I don't always agree with that. The top draw doesn't always have to have a belt.
Well, what do you mean? Like, remember how that great story they had for the IC title to be defended at Wrestle? Oh, no. But they did have that great story to get one of their top, hardest working females on WrestleMania with Bayley. No, they just stuck her in a tag team at the last minute.
Well, you don't remember when she was in that tag team with Lyra and they. Oh wait, no.
No, she got injured and jumped so they could bring Becky back.
Yeah.
Well, you totally remember that part where Bayley came out. No, that hasn't happened yet.
No.
No.
Maybe it happens in St. Louis. Who knows?
But all those other women that came out at Wrestle, no, there wasn't a lot of other
No.
ones. In fact, a lot of them got released.
Yep.
If you're not catching the hit here, you need another match on this card. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
But
And my
more
camera
than 5
sucks.
matches on a card nowadays, who do
I
you
know.
think they are?
And my camera sucks right now. Give me a
Besides, if you had another match, how are you going to get 7 more advertisements in over that span? I mean, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy's not going to come out on his own.
Okay, real quick, can I say I think we all owe WCW an apology for that time they brought out RoboCop?
Dude, that was awesome. Because he saved Sting. He ripped the freaking cage off was essentially a shark cage.
Yeah,
That's true.
So, and I think we also deserve an apology for Glacier, because Glacier was awesome, and I'm tired of pretending like Glacier wasn't awesome.
Look,
Okay.
let's just say, believe it. The money they had to get RoboCop there was still cheaper than the cost of the whole Glacier entrance and the uniform and everything like that.
Here's the problem with Glacier. They've said it. It's not that it didn't look cool. It's your quote-unquote Mortal Kombat ninja shouldn't sound like a dude from the South, nor look like a dude from the South. I'm just saying.
That's fair. That's fair. I guess I'm also biased because he seems like a really nice guy overall. So
Yeah, no, totally.
I guess that's the thing for you. Like, whenever it's like, oh, he's a nice guy. He deserves good things.
But I've heard people talk about this. They're like, Glacier looked awesome. He had this whole entrance, and he was like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna kick some," and it was just like not didn't fit the image.
I'll tell you what. Okay, now
Jason, see, right with you, Jason. RoboCop was awesome. You know what? WCW as a whole just deserves an apology because like WWE's done them so dirty after they bought them and
they did
made them look like honestly early and mid 90s WCW just before NWO started. Like I know people are going to talk like the Dungeon of Doom and Hogan stuff, but honestly, when you look at the wrestlers they had at that time, the stuff they had, Stunning Steve Austin, Steven Regal, Pillman, Sting. Back before that, when they had Arn Anderson, they introduced Muda to America.
Yeah, fair.
Like, they did some really cool stuff.
Angel, are you serious? Do you honestly not know who RoboCop is? Are you serious?
Dude, she's young.
I know, but
Jay, do you know who RoboCop is? No. See?
Okay, first of all, he's like, how old is he?
And in the chat, I could see I love RoboCop.
He's like half her age.
That is.
Yeah, he's
You
like,
think she's young? She's half
All
his
right, look,
age.
Jay wants to show y'all our handshake before he goes to bed. Ready?
Okay.
All right, go to bed. Good night. All right.
What was this? A War Raiders tag? What was that? Or Pillars of Destiny?
That's
what we do. That's what we do. Yeah.
I got so confused. It's a good thing you explained that as a handshake first.
That
I
is
was
a
like,
handshake. Hey, go to bed. I can't give you a choke.
Because this is a clip we couldn't share.
No, I can't. I can't. He wants the standing ovation for bed. Go. All right.
Wow.
Go.
Golf clap is all you get.
Yeah.
It's like a mini choke slam.
All right. Good night, buddy. Good night. Let's go tomorrow. Go.
Angel, you have Google. Look it up.
Yeah, okay.
And look up the 80 whatever version, not the 2001.
The 2001 isn't the worst thing ever. It's just not as
No,
good
but
as
it's not the. I was like, but it's not the original.
I was gonna say it's just not as good as the original. The original was amazing.
Yeah.
There have been way worse remakes.
I still can't believe Red Foreman was a bad guy in that thing. That is crazy,
dude. Looking back on that is just crazy to me too. Like so much so.
Go to bed. Good night. Freaking Joe Hendry behind me. All right. Let's move on before my son distracts me again.
Everybody picked their IC title match?
Yeah, because I was the last one to go. I picked Becky.
Okay.
Pick Becky. Intercontinental title match: Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. Dare I say I'm enjoying this heel run with Dominic. I'm just not sure if this
heel run. What are you talking about? He's the biggest face of the company right now.
Please.
Kind of. I mean.
Did you see WrestleMania?
I can't even front.
How has it been since then? His appearance on Busted Open Radio was hilarious.
Yeah.
Talking about luchadors and how ugly they were, and about damn time and all this stuff. I was like, you get that reaction out of Mark Henry and Bubba Ray. Fantastic. It's hilarious. Sean's picking Penta. Tommy, what about you? Are you picking Penta or who are you thinking?
No, I'm picking Dominic. There's no way they're going to take it off of him right now. They're going to let him have a not a sizable run, I don't think, but like a solid run. But I will say,
what do you got?
So
I'm gonna say Penta.
Penta. Okay. Days
Okay,
of
he's going
Penta.
Penta.
Yeah.
How many sides is that?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he needs to go to bed. Go to bed.
You're a kid. Why are you telling us?
I don't know. Go ahead, Tommy. Finish it. I apologize.
No, you're good. I was gonna say that I after this whole news about Big. Oh, we meant to mention Big E and getting engaged to Chris Em. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, we did
Nice.
forget to mention that.
But I put on on Facebook. I said, man, Kofi and Woods are gonna be mad right now. And I went back and watched the whole thing with Big E, but then I watched how when they ran into Dominic after. He said, I hated Big E too, but that was just crazy. I was like, and everyone said, did Dominic just turn face for a second there? And then they said, broadcast Tom Selleck, and he said, Tom Selleck wishes. And I died. I'm sorry. Dominic Mysterio, guys, he's doing everything right now. I'm sorry. Everyone who hates him so much, it's not even nepotism anymore. He's carved.
He's 100%. My favorite quote about him, and I said this a week or two ago, is someone said Dominic Mysterio is the heel that Logan Paul thinks he is.
Yeah.
100% true.
Of course. Hey. Comment if who do you think's gonna win?
Stop.
Penta or Dominic?
They got it. Go. Get out of here.
I'm a teacher. I can resist this.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm the youngest. I did this, so I don't care. But with Dominic, like I think probably the greatest decision WWE probably did in the last few years was turn him heel. That was just such a genius move.
Yeah.
And the fact
and the way he turned heel by letting Rhea Ripley beat him up and choke him out with her thighs, just perfect planning.
Man, some guys just get everything in life.
Everything.
I mean,
his biological father would be proud. Eddie Guerrero, my God, you've.
Wait.
I mean, Ray bought him what was it, a BMW instead of a or whatever, but they made up for it later in life. So.
Did y'all see the video of Ray and Chris Van Fleet when he
okay. He's starting to ask his wife, like, did you really? Because
she's
looking.
She's like, oh my God, okay, it did happen. I just didn't tell you. If Eddie was still alive, that would be a story right now.
Oh, they would come back to 100%
right now.
Yeah.
God, I miss Eddie Guerrero.
Just the look.
Angel, we see you.
The fact that he's looking at the IC title the same way that Eddie did, it's fantastic. I think Dom's gonna win also.
Angel, you meant what you said.
I'm sure the story of the match is Dom's gonna keep trying to unmask Penta at some point, but I think Dom's gonna win. Mike, what about you?
No, I'm gonna go with Dom. Honestly, I really don't see many title changes on this show, especially one so quickly after Mania.
Yeah.
Where 3 of the 4 titles were won at WrestleMania. So, except for Lyra, because Lyra didn't have a title match.
But that was WrestleMania weekend, right? Was that part of Stand? No, it wasn't Stand and Deliver.
What was? Fatu won the. No. Yeah, she won it She won it on a Raw.
Oh no, Lyra won the tag titles with Becky.
That's right.
Right, but
the IC title she won right before Mania.
Previous to that, it was a little while before that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she won.
She beat Dakota like we were talking about.
Yes.
And I think it was just on Raw. I could be wrong, but maybe it was at a pay-per-view.
She won it because she's just it was the tournament final. It was on Raw back in January.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. WWE Championship. John Cena defends against Randy Orton. Mike, where are you going with this one?
I know a lot of people have been saying this, and I feel like Triple H would love it too much to pass it up. Cena's going to keep it, and they're going to pull that the reverse ending of what was it? The match they had? Yeah. Basically that. I really feel like Triple H can't resist the callback and the long-term booking. So I mean,
technically, Orton will win the match, but will retain. That's kind of how you're thinking of it.
Okay, yeah. I guess that's right. So technically, it would be a Randy Orton win, but by DQ, right?
I've got the same thought on that too as well. I mean, you want to solidify Cena as this full-on heel that doesn't care. He's just going to get himself DQ'd in Orton's hometown of all things too.
Yeah.
So, Tommy, what about you?
Yeah, I'll agree with y'all, Mike. There's no way I see Cena losing the belt like this soon. So yeah, I'll agree with you guys. Yeah.
So we're all saying Orton by disqualification.
The Rock shows up. Hey guys, I'm back in this.
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
I mean, Cody, we're friends again, right? TKO is awesome.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You want to make it full on, like Cena going to slap the ref. If they have a female ref in there and Cena still slaps her to get the DQ, my God,
That would be amazing.
that would be nuts.
Actually, so I know this wasn't meant for the comment you just made, but this
Yeah.
popped up as soon as you said that.
Ah!
And he's not wrong
He's
because wrestling fans like seeing women get beat up for some odd reason. And I don't mean in like actual intergender matches like on indie shows. I mean like in these big shows, and it's kind of weird, not gonna lie.
For sure.
It's extremely weird. Yeah.
All right, well, Backlash is this Saturday, May 10th at 6 p.m. Central Time from the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri, Orton's hometown. Available on Peacock. I believe the pre-show probably start at 5 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. So expect a 2.5 to 3 hour show if you're going to be watching this one. Finally, it's time for our 1 minute warning segment here. Mike, do you have something this week?
I do.
Okay, let me get the countdown going here. This is going to pop up in a second. Where are you? Here you are.
Jump scare.
Hello, and jump scare now.
Yeah!
All right, Mike, whenever you're ready, go for it.
All right, so this is going to be something we talked about earlier, so a little different for me to talk about. I want to go back to WWE buying AAA, and I have a question. Are we going to get a faction that can rival the Bloodline, that can rival Judgment Day, that can possibly rival NWO DX Horsemen? And I'm talking about the Polygon Familia. We already have Penta. We know there's an octagon. There can be a hexagon. There can be septagon. And then the leader has to be Decagon, the 10-sided leader of the Polygon family. I'm talking Polygon family versus Bloodline at the next War Games. Complete domination of WWE and AAA. Polygon family. Triangle might be the one we're not sure about.
Square is too much of a square.
Right? Penta and Octagon leading it. Decagon becomes their big guy. He's the one that goes over. I'm waiting for this. As a math person, this really gets me hyped. And I just can't wait.
So WWE's going to buy Shikara. Got it. Yeah, that's like where all those wrestlers are, I'm pretty sure.
No, not ants. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, you probably got polygons there. And then the higher power is pi. Yeah, just randomly. Just a circle. Bobby, you got something this week?
A sphere.
Yeah. Yes, you got to follow that.
If y'all have seen Flatland, y'all know what that's about.
Okay.
Wow, that's a reference. I don't think I do actually.
What?
I'm trying to think.
Well, you did already share your New Japan news earlier. Sure.
I did.
That's true.
I think that's why I'm out. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was something this week I thought of, but we might have already covered it.
Nothing about local news. Nothing.
No, I think I'm good.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, I am going to share something right now real quick.
Always
Do you believe it has been 2 years since this? And by the way, yes, this is Bad Bunny's intro at Backlash, but WWE just released this video with some alternate camera angles that have never before been seen, and it is pretty awesome.
You know, I did see a clip of that. But
so check this out.
Sorry. God, that crowd.
Yeah.
Look, it's been 2 years since this entrance. I mean, this crowd shot. Where is it? Right here.
That's the
shot.
Yeah.
So, Triple H, WWE. Why the fuck is the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia? Why? Why? I get it. You're not going there this year. Cool. Great. Everyone's happy. Crown Jewel is in Australia. By all means. But look at this camera shot. I'll make it full screen again for you. You cannot tell me that is not a Royal Rumble entrance and a Royal Rumble crowd and a crowd that deserves that. I have been pushing for this for 2 years since this pay-per-view. I mean, freaking right here. That entrance. That is Royal Rumble-esque right here. The crowd. The drone shots. This is the perfect setup. That is the island. That is the arena that needs the Rumble. You haven't been back there since, and you can't tell me they don't deserve it. I don't care if it's not some big fancy NFL stadium, but the Rumble needs to be there. Dare I say the pop for Bad Bunny there? And yeah, I get it. It's Bad Bunny. Rivaled what Joe Hendry got at WrestleMania a few weeks ago.
I 100% agree with that.
So this entrance, people, it's still watching these angles. Every time I see it pop on my timeline, it still gives me chills. Every time I hear it, when it's my daughter's walk-up song for softball, I still get chills thinking about this entrance. This crowd deserves a Royal Rumble. And I'm not even Puerto Rican, and I know they deserve it. That would be a hype crowd. That would, by all means, be one of the best Royal Rumble crowds of all time. I know, I get it. Fine. Saudi Arabia's got money. Whatever. You got to go there this year. You already did, unless something happens. Who knows? But the following year, seriously, take a look at San Juan, Puerto Rico for the Royal Rumble. It needs to be there. This crowd would be awesome having it there. So, kids aren't asleep yet. All right.
Okay, so
Go ahead, Tommy.
I 100% agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
And actually, Mike, you know what I just thought of? So it piggybacks off what you said about these Logan Paul.
The Polygon Oh, okay.
Of course that's the best.
Can you imagine the polygons in Puerto Rico? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, why not? I mean, I would throw up a Decagon shirt in a minute. Anyway, what I was saying was not only is Dominic Mysterio the heel Logan Paul thinks he is, Bad Bunny is the outside of wrestling
Celebrity
wrestling superstar Logan Paul thinks he is. Because Bad Bunny, I'm sorry to say this to those who don't like it, I haven't seen him have a bad match yet.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen him have a bad match yet. Every time this guy shows up, it's actually like, I'm entertained. Is he the greatest technical wrestler? Of course not. But am I thoroughly impressed every time? Every single freaking time. And also, I know why it wasn't, but this really should have been the main event of that show. It really should have been.
But you know why, right?
Yeah, I know why. I remember the timing of the fight and everything. But I just it should have been because the crowd was so hyped. They killed it with the surprise Savio Vega showing up, which by the way is an underrated moment in that match. Savio Vega being there was just so fantastic.
Carlito too, because we hadn't seen Carlito on TV in a while before that.
That's right.
Yeah. So
this whole but you're right. The crowd in Puerto Rico deserves the Royal Rumble. So hopefully year after next. But yeah.
Unless something happens in Saudi Arabia, you just never know. So.
Yeah, true. But I agree.
All right. Well,
wait.
What's up?
Is there an Uso versus Logan Paul match?
Not. Let me check.
Did they just get that added?
I'm not saying
maybe from Monday.
I'm not saying anything from Wrestle
because they've been feuding.
There's nothing. There's nothing on Wikipedia. Let me check cage match.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything officially announced. I don't think it's
there's nothing on Wikipedia. Checking cage match. 1 second. Almost there. We go again. I'm stalling to talk and blah blah blah. Wasting time. Where's Backlash? There it is. It is not listed. No. There's no listing for Uso and Logan Paul at Backlash.
Unless they decide to add that Friday, we'll see what they do. But
can we just make that happen on Monday Night Raw so we can finally move past the part where Logan Paul gets a title shot?
Yeah.
Because that annoys me more than most things in life.
Yeah.
He annoys me more than
you know what? I would like to rephrase, and you're right. Yeah.
All right. Well, once again, Backlash is Saturday, May 10th at 6 p.m. Central Time from the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. available on Peacock in the U.S., Netflix everywhere else in the world. Next week, we'll recap everything that goes down at Backlash, see what the future holds of that, see if we have an update on what's going on at United 210. I know the story that the news reporter did on that, they're kind of trying to find out, investigate what is going on with that as well.
Yeah.
And see where it goes from here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening in wrestling. See what some new signees come up here. Talk a little bit about, too, Battleground's not far from here. We got Joe Hendry defending the TNA Championship on an NXT pay-per-view against Trick Williams. So
Yeah.
that's going to be pretty epic. So
Also, one more thing before we go. Tomorrow night, Tommy and I will be on the Mission Pro Spotlight, their podcast, and apparently we are getting ourselves involved in some sort of women's wrestler fantasy draft against a few other podcasts from around. So that is Angel Marie's podcast with Mindrunner. So we'll be on. I don't know if everyone will be on there tomorrow. I don't know. We'll be on there.
Yep.
And eventually we're going to be doing a draft.
Yep.
So there you go. Joining us. You can go make fun of Angel on there then and call her young and say all the things that she doesn't know because they happened in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s.
I please make fun of her. She keeps calling me old, so.
She does. That is fair.
and I know it's a female fantasy draft, but I'm pretty sure Shadur Sanders will still slip to the 5th round.
Also, JC, do you have time
What?
if you want to join us on there too? Or
The girls have another doubleheader. Adios doubleheader tomorrow.
God.
Oh, okay.
We got rained out. We got to make it up tomorrow. Unless it
well,
rains
there you
again.
go.
Yeah.
So it's me and Tommy.
you and Tommy. Yeah. So hold it down, man. Way to represent too, and have some fun with that. Those fantasy
Yes.
drafts can be crazy. So
The draft day will be soon announced. Okay.
yeah,
So it's not officially tomorrow.
Yeah.
maybe it's a draft day preview or something. So
So we'll be talking about women's wrestling, which if Knopf is there, then we know what we're all going to be talking about.
which one of y'all is gonna be Kevin Costner? That's just what I want to know. Very underrated.
I mean-
movie, by the way.
Right. One of us is African American. One of us is Mexican American. I'm not sure we fit the bill.
I don't know.
I don't know how he's trying to rationalize that in his head for a second.
I'm trying to think if I could fit Waterworld into this because that was confusing as hell movie too. You know. So
My dad watches that movie, I think, for the aesthetics. I don't think he knows what's going on whenever he watches
I
it
don't think
either.
anybody does either. Jesus, it's crazy.
I don't
So-
think they knew what they were doing when they made it.
I still freak out the opening scene where he somehow turns his pee into drinking water. I'm like, how is that possible? So, you know, but I mean,
And the questions for the movie just went from there.
yeah, I know. It's like, hey,
Most
Waterworld.
expensive, confusing movie ever made.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I did see Thunderbolts. Thumbs up. Really good
Yeah.
Yeah,
stuff.
I
So,
hopefully I get to see it this weekend.
yeah, definitely worth it.
I got to see Sinners too.
I still haven't.
I
seen-
want to go see Sinners too.
Yeah,
That looks
I need to
good.
see that. I haven't seen Brave New World, but now I need to watch it. I mean, they just make a small reference to stuff.
I'm one of the few who love Brave New World.
No, I loved it too. It was a really good movie.
I thought it was horribly underrated. I think.
Although I saw someone bring up a really good point of why for Sam Wilson's Captain America movie, they didn't bring back any of the characters he had emotional connection to throughout the past few shows and like movies. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's a really good point.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
Like there was Bucky was in there briefly if you haven't seen it, but a whole bunch of other people he had connection to like didn't show up, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh god, now you're totally banned. Stop it, Angel.
Stop it.
100%.
Final things I'll say: a happy birthday, heavenly birthday to my Nacho, my buddy. Would have been his 18th birthday today. Wherever you are, buddy, I miss you. And goddamn, my camera froze again.
Dude.
Yeah. Hold on, let me fix this shit. All right, there we go. And to all the moms this weekend, happy Mother's Day.
Happy
So-
Mother's Day.
And also, one more time, guys, this Saturday is Tommy's birthday. So make sure to send him a message and say he's young at heart.
Yes.
Wow. Et two, Mike. Et two.
I mean,
yeah.
You're definitely young at heart.
I mean, yeah, but you know, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, man, I'll be 37. Holy crap.
I remember
Well-
those days.
Thank you, everybody, for. I'm not responding to that. Over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
Over here, we got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. As always, here's the big.
Are
See y'all next week.
na 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 na